All right, so here's the video for solving two-step equations, but this time we're going to do it with distribution. So yesterday when we did it, there was no distributing involved, and today there will be. So what are the steps for solving equations in factored form? You need to make a decision if you want to distribute or use inverse operations to get rid of the factor. I'm going to show you how to distribute. It's the easiest way to do it, and it works every time. Distribution is the way to go if there's an extra piece on one side of the equal sign. Once you make the decision, follow the steps we learned previously. So on this video, I'm only going to show you distribution. Tomorrow we can talk a little bit about the inverse operation way also. Right, so here I see 2x plus 4 equals 20. I'm going to ignore this for a second, and I need to distribute this 2 out, just like we did in last chapter. So 2 times x is 2x. A positive 2 plus a positive 4 is a positive 8. And now I'm going to bring down the equals 20. Now that it's distributed, check to see if there's anything you can simplify. So nothing on this side, nothing on this side. So I'm going to drop my line and begin to solve. I'm going to take away 8 from each side. That's going to leave me 2x on this side. It's going to leave me 12 over here because 20 minus 8 is 12. Now, I see multiplication, and I know the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. Any number divided by itself gives me 1, so 1x or x, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So my answer here should be x equals 6. Okay, let's try it again. I'm going to distribute the 1.5. So 1.5 or 1.5p, and then 1.5 times 3. Okay, so I'm going to think of it as 15 times 3, which is 45. And then I got to move my decimal one place to the left, so that's 4.5 equals 18. Again, check and see if there's anything you can simplify then. Anything here? Nope, nothing there. Anything here? No, it's just the 18. So I'm going to drop my line and solve. Work away from the variable first. So I'm going to subtract 4.5. When I do that, over here I'm left with 1.5p. Now over here, I need a decimal. Remember, there's a decimal behind the 18. We just don't see it. So we're going to write it in, and then I need that placeholder 0 for when I go to subtract. Now my decimals are lined up, which is what I need to do. I'm going to have to borrow from the 8, and that 0 becomes a 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 4 is 3. 1 minus nothing is 1. I'm going to bring that decimal point straight down. The 18 was larger and it was positive, so it's a positive 13.5. Okay, and now I'm going to divide. So I'm dividing by 1.5. Remember, any number divided by itself gives you 1, so 1p or p. Then over here, I'm going to do my math. So I have 13 5/10 divided by 1 5/10. Move my decimal here, which means I have to move my decimal here. So it's really going to feel like 135 divided by 15. Okay, so this one might be a little bit tricky. Counting by 15s is something I feel like you should be able to do, but it is a little difficult. But I want us to think about this. 15 times 10 would give us 150. We know that because we just put a 0 at the end of it. And 150 is really close to 135. So I bet you my answer is going to be 9. So let's check. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9 plus 4. Oh, look at that. So I know P equals 9. All right, let's try the next one. So this one's going to have not only distribution, but it's also going to have a little bit of simplification too. So I'm going to distribute first. 3 times 4 is 12y. Positive 3 times a positive 5 is a positive 15 plus 2y equals 22. So once you distribute, you bring everything else down. Now, there's something I can simplify over here. I have 12y and I have a positive 2y. So I'm going to circle those and I'm going to say 12 plus 2 is 14y. I couldn't combine the 15 with anything, so I'm going to say plus 15 equals 22. Now I can drop my line and solve. Here's my variable, so I'm going to start with the plus 15, and the opposite of a plus 15 is a minus 15. So I'm left with 14y equals 22 minus 15 is 7. These are being multiplied, and the opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide by 14 using my fraction bar. That will leave me 1y, or y, and then my fraction bar was important here because now I can see it's 7 divided by 14, and that doesn't work evenly, so I'm just going to take my fraction and write it in simplest form. Y equals 1/2. All right, let's try it over here. Distribute that 1/6. 1/6 z. Distribute it again. A positive times a positive is a positive. Any number times 1 is the number itself, so it's still just 1/6 equals 6. Nothing that I can simplify on either side of the equal sign. So I'm going to drop my line and start to solve. So here's my variable. I'm going to work away from it, so I'm going to subtract 1/6. So that leaves me 1/6 z equals, and then I'm going to do this over here. It says 6 minus 1/6. Okay, I need a common denominator, and right now my denominator here is 1. So I'm going to use 6. 6 times 6 is 36. That's going to stay as a 1, so it's going to be 35 over 6, and I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, fraction next to a variable means to multiply, so the opposite of multiplication is division, so I know I need to divide both sides by 1/6. That's going to leave me a z. Okay, now I'm going to do this work over here again. Remember, we read the problem going down, so that says 35/6 divided by 1/6. Now, remember, when we divide fractions, we got to do keep, change, opposite. Great, I can simplify these 6's into 1's. They cancel each other out. And I find out that z is equal to 35. So I know on the back it says to try the you try problems, but like I said in class, you don't need to do those. We can do those tomorrow in class. So just make sure that this video is done, and tomorrow we'll work on a lot of two-step equations using distribution.